Imagine the structural integrity of the entire universe, the very fabric holding stars and galaxies together, beginning to fracture and freeze into dust. The Shiva Purana describes this as the byproduct of Mahadev's withdrawal. As he enters a deep state of samadhi, he disconnects from the material layer of existence, effectively pulling the plug on the universe's power source. The gods, acting as the universe's architects, realize that the framework of reality cannot sustain itself in his absence. Without Shiva to anchor the foundation, the engine of reality stalls. If he remains detached, the universe faces a permanent return to the void. To solve this, the gods have to navigate the core logic of existence. Shiva represents infinite stillness and pure potential, a state of vairagya, or complete detachment. This diagram shows the problem. Shiva is the static central node. Without the dynamic, orbiting kinetic energy of Shakti, that stillness is directionless. It lacks the friction required to generate or sustain a functioning system. Facing systemic failure, the gods bring an emergency appeal to Adi Shakti, the supreme cosmic energy, begging her to restore the balance. She vows to take on a human form, intending to enter the physical world and pull Shiva back into the cycle of creation. This incarnation acts as a corrective measure. By becoming human, she creates a bridge to reconnect the detached divine with the material realm. The entry point for this mission is Prajapati Daksha. As an architect tasked with the universe's physical expansion, Daksha represents the height of systemic order and material power. However, Daksha's absolute dominance over the material world breeds a quiet, pervasive ego. He begins to believe that the system he manages is the only reality that matters. Into the center of his authority, Adi Shakti fulfills her promise and is born as Daksha's daughter, Sati. From her earliest days, Sati rejects the environment around her. She ignores the royal luxuries of the palace, preferring to sit in the dirt and mold clay shivlings as an active focus. Sati exists as a paradox, a spark of selfless devotion growing inside a system built entirely on material pride. The tension reaches a peak when sage Narada arrives at the palace with a prophecy. Sati is destined to marry Mahadev. Daksha finds the idea repulsive. He views Shiva as a chaotic, ash-smeared ascetic, a threat to the pristine, governed world he has spent eons building. This visual scale shows the extreme polarization. On one side, Daksha represents absolute material wealth. On the other, Shiva represents its total rejection. Sati becomes the point of contact. She is pulled toward her cosmic source, but held back by her father's rigid control. Daksha's ego is now more than a personality trait. It is a barrier that prevents the two halves of the universe from meeting. Sensing that her father will never yield, Sati steps out alone under the night sky to make a final decision. She vows that she will either marry Mahadev in this life, or she will remain unattached to the world forever. This commitment concentrates her entire existence into a single point of intent, creating a focus that mirrors the intensity of Shiva's own meditation. By making this pledge, Sati redefines devotion as an active force, a singular determination that can influence the mechanics of the cosmos. In the physics of this universe, absolute stillness can only be moved by an equal and opposite force of absolute intent. Sati's surrender is a focused resonance, designed to reach into the depths of Shiva's silence. All the dynamic energy of the universe is now channeled into Sati's resolve. But her target is Mahadev, an entity who has successfully erased all worldly desire and attachment. Can a single human resolve resonate loudly enough to be heard within infinite silence? If Sati's devotion fails to move him, the cosmic vacuum becomes permanent, leaving the fate of every living thing hanging on the silence of a yogi.